Another cigarette, I swore I'd quit. Burn slow like the truth you spit. I sit alone in this parking lot, inhaling should have, could have right. Your seatbelt's empty but locked tight, like waiting for you every night. I flick a spark into the air, it dies like promises we shared. You hated smoke, you loved the flame, said passion shouldn't end the same. We fought like storms with thunder pride, then calm like waves at low tide size. To blame is fire, we fed it well, turn one room love into a hell. Now every plan we ever made is smoldering in this ashtray. Ashtray full of tomorrows, everyone a borrowed sorrow. Dreams that turn to smoke too fast, love that could never last. Hope burns out, desire follows. Ashtray full of tomorrows. The radio plays some song of hope, but my hands shake, I barely cope. I crush the filter, choke the flame, yet embers still recall your name. I light another, kill the past, but smoke's the truth, it never lasts. And when I breathe that memory in, it flickers like we'll start again. Some futures die before they grow, just ashes of what we'll never know. Ashtray full of tomorrows, burned out hearts that no one borrows. I'll drive till sunrise dims the sorrow, but tonight, tomorrow's in the ashtray. You traced a ride on the fogged up window glass, while the engine idled low and let the midnight minutes pass. We parked out by the fields where the town lights disappear. You said the sky feels bigger when you're holding someone near. My jacket on your shoulder, smelling like July and rain. You drew a future in the stars where we never felt the pain. I promised you forever with my hand against your cheek. Funny how eternity can crumble in a week. Now the same backseat is empty, just some fast food paper bags. Your laughter's just a ghost between the seatbelt and the tax. I drive the same old back roads, but the constellations changed. Or maybe it's my heart that's been quietly rearranged. The moon hangs like a question that I'm too afraid to hear, asking who you're drawing futures with when I am nowhere near. I roll the windows down and let the cold night cut my skin, trying to feel something other than the mess I'm in. Backseat constellations, maps we made of desperation. You and I were shooting stars, I stopped beside the fence where you first whispered you were mine. The crickets sang a dirge for every crossed and broken line. A bottle on the dashboard, half of courage, half of shame. I drank to all the little ways I never played your game. You wanted roots and roses, I was highways, dust and chrome. A heart tied to a steering wheel could never be your home. So I give the stars your number, and I give the wind your name. Let the universe decide who carries all the blame. If you ever miss that sky and the boy who loved you blind, just look for where the roads run out. That's where you'll find my mind. Backseat constellations, maps we made of desperation. You and I were shooting stars, burning bright then falling hard. I'll keep chasing those old sensations until I make peace with all the separations. Just a man in his own salvation. Under backseat constellation.
I was driving my cousin's borrowed truck, paint peeling like old Sims, headlights weak and winding as the Friday night begins. You were standing by the crosswalk with a halo made of smoke, a cheap motel behind you and a heart that someone broke. You asked me for a ride to anywhere but where you stood. Said I'm tired of being scenery in someone else's neighborhood. I unlocked that busted passenger door and cleared a spot of trash. Never thought a stranger's eyes could cut my past in half. You said you'd been an angel once for someone on the mend. You learned that saving sinners doesn't always make them friends. He took your gentle hands and turned them into alibis. You learned to spot a liar hiding in his own blue eyes. I told you I'd been selfish, turned my lovers into props, used their faith to fuel the engine till the whole thing finally stopped. We laughed like broken chandeliers and still remember how to shine. Two damaged souls on loan to fate for just a moment's borrowed time. Borrowed truck, broken halo, two lost hearts on the same old road, running from the lives we know, chasing someplace we can't go. If redemption's more than just a fable, maybe God rides in a broken halo. We pulled off by a river where the guardrail kissed the slope. The moon laid down a pathway made of second chances hope. You said maybe we're not demons, maybe we're just bruised by love. Maybe all these messed up detours still get noticed from above. I said if there's a heaven, it's a night like this old sea, but my heart felt one shade lighter every mile beneath my feet. Borrowed truck, broken halo, two lost hearts on the same old road. We didn't fix what's long ago, but we share the weight of what we know. If there's grace for all that's unstable, it once rode shotgun in a broken halo. I ain't the man I used to be before the road rewired me, before the nights in cheap hotels, before the lies I couldn't tell. Your memory sits beside me still, a stubborn ghost I can't unfeel. I swore I'd change and come back clean, but promises fade like gasoline. Mirror shows a stranger's grin, a man who lost instead of wins. I drive so fast, the past looks small, but shrinking ain't forgetting all. Yellow lines like lifelines drag me forward from a tattered flag. Home is waving, proud yet bruised for what I broke and what I used. Bury my name in the rear view, let it die with what I put you through. If roads forgive, then maybe I do too. Bury my name in the rear view. I pull into that county fair, smell sawdust, corn, and younger air. We kissed first time near Ferris lights, thought forever, man, we win those fights. Now all I hear are echoes spun of what I'd fix if I weren't someone built for leaving when it hurts. Trading hearts for worn-out shirts. If love's a map, then I got lost. We're painting out ways to leave in cost. Bury my name in the rear view, leave my ghosts in black and blue. If I keep driving, something new might rise beyond this rear view. Bar stools dented by the weight of what I never say aloud. This bottle knows me deeper than the faces in this crowd. A jukebox spins the record of a night we both misread, where we swore that giving up would save what's hanging by a thread. Your picture on my lock screen burns a hole through every call, 'cause dialing feels like climbing. When I'm scared I'll only fall. The bartender serves mercy in a glass for guys like me, men who drown their better angels just to claim they're finally free. The neon flickers warnings that I choose to disregard. I'm bitter at pretending that admitting life is hard. A stranger tells a story about the woman in his past. We toast to all the almost that weren't built to ever last. I'm laughing through the choking like a man without a choice, but every time the words slip out I hear your broken voice. the past with all my fears. One shot for the wasted years, one more for what disappears. If your absence volunteers, I'll fill it with cheap whiskey, honest tears. I stagger toward the exit with regret in every step. The moonlight pulls my shadow like a rope around my neck. I smell your old perfume on some stranger passing by, and suddenly the whole damn world looks ready to cry. I call your voicemail knowing that you'll never pick it up. Still pour my heart like bourbon sloshing careless in a cup. This pain would rather kill me than just kindly disappear. So I chase it with cheap whiskey and my honest tears. Some confessions don't need witness, only courage in the night. Cheap whiskey, honest tears. Cheap whiskey, honest tears. Toast to love that disappears. If goodbye's the souvenir, I'll pay in cheap whiskey and honest tears. Sun slips through the blinds like it's apologizing slow. The waitress wipes the same old counter she's been wiping since '04. I stir this cold black coffee till the ice has lost its fight. You always said I'd hate this town if I stayed past Friday night. Your lipstick on my mug from when you stole a careless sip, back when every road we took was just another lucky trip. Now these laminated menus read like pages of my past. Every today special just reminds me nothing lasts. You'd slide into this booth and kick your boots against my knees, leave sugar packets, castles, and your laughter in the breeze. We'd argue over jukebox picks and who would pay the bill, then race the setting sun up to the Lover's Lookout Hill. The cook shouts, hold her up like some forgotten battle cry. I watch a couple holding hands and try not to ask why. We traded simple mornings for a war of silent nights, letting pride slam every door that could have saved our shattered fights. Cold coffee in a small town diner tastes like all the times I couldn't find her. Every spoonful stirs the past, every sip is built to last. If regret could burn a little finer, I'd warm this cold coffee in a small town diner. The waitress sets a plate of eggs I don't remember buying, says you look like a man who's either leaving or just trying. I smile and leave a tip that's worth more than the meal, 'cause someone ought to profit from the hurt I couldn't heal. I step out to the sidewalk where the morning smells like rain. The church bell down on Wilson rings, door, letting go of what we were and what we're never anymore. If you ever wonder where your memory still burns mine, it's somewhere between the jukebox and the open every time sign. Cold coffee in a small town diner tastes like all the times I couldn't find her. Every spoonful stirs the past, every sip is built to last. I'll leave my heart there, none the wiser, with that cold coffee in a small town diner. Your boots left patterns on my dash that summers can't erase, and fingerprints on every dream that wore your smiling face. I still see you in the mirror when it vibrates from the road, your hair tangled in moonlight while our future overflowed. Now dust collects like stories that the wind forgot to steal, and the empty passenger seat proves what hurt refused to heal. I drive through open counties where we swore we'd set up home, but every field feels smaller now that I'm driving it alone. Still got your mixtape halfway stuck inside the stereo. Track 9 skips every time you say, I'll never let you go. Your sweater's in the side door, and it smells like faded June, like campfires, cheap champagne, and our last midnight tune. The miles roll under tires, but not under what I feel, 'cause healing ain't the same as learning how to deal. When love becomes a memory, the body keeps in place. Dust on the passenger seat becomes your saving grace. Dust on the passenger seat where your heart and mine would meet. Roads we plan now incomplete. Time won't sweep away defeat if goodbye must stay concrete. It leaves dust on the passenger seat. There's a diner parking lot where our breath once fogged the glass, where you told me love needs patience, and I let impatience pass. Now I sip on bitter coffee, and I curse that stubborn kid who chose pride instead of holding what he'd never have again. I'd wipe it clean if wiping ever cleaned what's underneath, but grief is just a fingerprint that won't let heartbreak breathe. So I'll carry you beside me till my wheels forget the heat of your dust on the passenger seat. Some stains are sacred, even when they break us. Dust on the passenger seat, proof of love that won't retreat. If tomorrow brings relief, tonight I ride with dust and grief. There's a rusty little sign that says exit 29, where the highway bends like it's changing its mind. We used to pull off late and kill the engine by the trees. You'd climb across the console, lay your head upon my knees. The crickets sang a choir, fireflies lit up your hair. We planned to hold forever on a tailgate blanket there. You said, I don't need a mansion, don't need diamonds, don't need fame. Just promise when this road gets rough, you'll still be saying my name. Years roll by like semis, heavy loads and busted brakes. We traded open promises for bills and small mistakes. I took a job 2 towns away and brought home all my stress. You learned to sleep alone in bed while I learned how to care less. We stopped taking midnight drives, stopped pulling off to sea the moon reflect on puddles like it did when we were free. Till one night you said softly, baby, I can't stay this blind. If you want me, meet me once more at that old exit 29. Exit 29, exit 29, where we fell in, then fell apart. A patch of dirt and gravel, but it's paved across my heart. If love is just a road sign that you either heed or miss, I should've hit the brakes the night you begged me with a kiss. Now every time I pass it, it rewinds my broken mind to the last chance that I wasted at exit 29. I showed up 30 minutes late. The rain had washed your tracks, just tire marks and raindrops on our secret cul-de-sac. Your taillights were a rumor on that long forgotten lane. I shouted at the thunder, but it only knew my name. I found the note you left me taped up on the old guardrail. Don't look for me in places where you taught your love to fail. If someday you remember how we used to chase the sky, you'll know you lost your one true home the night you let me cry. Now when the GPS says turn, I just let it recalibrate. 'Cause I learned too late you can't reroute a heart you made to wait. Exit 29, where we fell in, then fell apart. A patch of dirt and gravel, but it's paved across my heart. I drive on past the warning sign that loved once underlined, haunted by the ghost of you at exit 29. Exit 29. Exit 29. Neon humming over cracked concrete and dust. I pull in, run empty on regret and lack of trust. The clerk behind the counters got a tired kind of smile, like he's seen every broken soul for at least 100 miles. I grab a coffee, tastes like metal and mistakes. Ask him if it's always this quiet when the whole world aches. He shrugs shrugs and says most nights, son, it's just the lost in me. And I laugh, 'cause that's exactly what I came here to be. I swipe my card and watch the numbers climb on 87. Gas fumes rising like a prayer that won't get heard in heaven. Your last text still lingers, just 3 words, I'm done, goodbye. Small letters, heavy bullets, shooting straight across my sky. The highway stretching forward like a dare I can't refuse. Either drive into tomorrow or stay drunk on what I lose. I light a cigarette I promised I would never touch, but breaking one more promise doesn't feel like much. At the gas station at 3 a.m., I'm a ghost in a truck with a heart condemned. Fluorescent halos, empty road, just me and this tank and a heavy load. If there's a place where the broken man, it might be this gas station at 3 a.m. A dusty payphone hangs like some forgotten prayer. I think about just dialing you to see if you still care. But I know the only answer is the echo of the ring, and the pain of hearing nothing is its own kind of sting. The semi rolls in slowly like a giant made of chrome. Driver nods and no we nod, like we're both too far from home. He buys black coffee, tips his hat, then disappears in light, leaving me alone again with all this endless night. Somewhere there's a sunrise waiting just beyond this town, but to reach it I must finally lay your memory down. At the gas station at 3 a.m., I'm a ghost in a truck with a heart condemned. Fluorescent halos, empty road, just me and this tank and a heavy load. If there's a place where the broken men, I'll leave my past here with the trash and cans. Drive away from the boy I've been, from this gas station at 3 a.m. You left with your suitcase full of letters never sent. I left a dent in my mattress where your worried body bent. You said love's a loaded promise, pull too tight, it's bound to shoot. I never knew the safety slipped the night I aimed at truth. Our bedroom door slammed loudly like a shotgun in retreat. Shattered pictures of our future lying scattered at my feet. You fired the final warning when you whispered I can't stay. Now I'm bleeding through the silence you unloaded yesterday. Morning hits like metal when there's no one there to blame. I pour whiskey in my coffee, try to warm your frozen name. You taught me passion's heaven till it drags you into hell, and angels on
left with a heart like an exit wound. I drive out to the river where we skip rocks at sunset. Try to drown in better days so I forget how bad it gets. But every ripple's shaped like promises we broke instead of kept. And every drop reminds me that I'm alive because I wept. Some scars form into stories, some just keep the pain in view. And I'm the type of soldier still saluting what I knew. I bandage up the memories, but they tear me right back through. Can't outrun a bullet when it's made from loving you. If pain's the proof that love was real, then damn, I loved you deep. Heart like an exit wound, bleeding beneath the moon. I'll survive, but not so soon. Till then, this heart's an exit wound. Heart like an exit wound, bleeding beneath the moon. I'll survive, but not so soon. Till then, this heart's an exit wound. I've been chasing down the darkness with these high beams for days, trying to outdrive every memory of your touch and of your face. The white lines blur like raindrops on a pane left outside, and every curve reminds me how I used to hold you tight. You said my love was reckless, like an engine always red, always pushing, never resting, always 3 steps from the edge. But your heart was like a back road that I never learned to read. Now I'm lost between the silence and the things we didn't need. I pass a sleeping farmhouse with one lonely kitchen light. Makes me think of all the dinners that we skipped to shout at night. We turned the table into battlegrounds and words into grenades, till the only thing left standing was the echo of our blame. A downshift on a steep hill where the guardrail disappears, same way that our patience fell off somewhere with all our fears. I wonder if you're sleeping or if you're staring at the wall, counting all the what ifs that still answer when I call. High beams and heartbeats, both too to the bathroom wall shows roads I've never known. Little towns with pretty names where hurt has never grown. I trace a route with shaking hands to somewhere I could heal, but every arrow bends me back to where you taught my heart to feel. Maybe one day we'll be strangers passing on some quiet lane. Two cars with different license plates, but the very same old pain. High beams and heartbeats, both too fast, both too bright, lighting up the empty streets, racing through the same old night. I'll keep driving till I find a softer pulse, a gentler light, till it's not your ghost I meet in my high beams, in my heartbeat.
I've been chasing down the darkness with these high beams for days, trying to outdrive every memory of your touch and of your face. The white lines blur like raindrops on a pane left outside, and every curve reminds me how I used to hold you tight. You said my love was reckless, like an engine always ready, always pushing, never resting, always 3 steps from the edge. But your heart was like a back road that I never learned to read. Now I'm lost between the silence and the things we didn't need. I passed a sleeping farmhouse with one lonely kitchen light. Makes me think of all the dinners that we skipped to shout at night. We turned the table into battlegrounds and words into grenades, till the only thing left standing was the echo of our blame. I downshift on a steep hill where the guardrail disappears, the same way that our patience fell off somewhere with all our fears. I wonder if you're sleeping or if you're staring at the wall, counting all the what ifs that still answer when I call. High beams and heartbeats, both too fast, both too bright, lighting up the empty streets, racing through the same old night. If love's a road, I missed the sign. Now it's high beams, heartbeats, and long white lines. I pull into a rest stop just to feel the gravel grind, step out into the cool night air and try to clear my mind. The vending machine hums softly like it's drowning in its glow. I press my forehead to the glass and whisper, let me go. A map tacked to the bathroom wall shows roads I've never known. Little towns with pretty names where hurt has never grown. I trace a route with shaking hands to somewhere I could heal, but every arrow bends me back to where you taught my heart to feel. Maybe one day we'll be strangers passing on some quiet lane. 2 cars with different license plates, but the very same old pain. High beams and heartbeats, both too fast, both too bright, There's a flickering sign that says vacancy in red, buzzing like a bad idea in the back of my tired head. The parking lot is gravel mixed with bottle caps and dreams, the kind of place where people come to fall apart at the seams. I'm pulling by the ice machine that's older than my scars, my windshield full of bug splats and 100 dying stars. You texted me at midnight if you're leaving, leave for good. So I'm checking into nothingness, just like you said I should. The lady at reception's got a Bible and a frown. She asked me if I'm just passing or if I'm breaking down. I say a little bit of both, ma'am, but I'll be gone by dawn. She hands me key to 710 and says some folks stay too long. The room smells like a mixture of old air and new regret, curtains stained with sunlight that the wall will not forget. A crooked picture of a lake hangs just above the bed. I lie there counting ceiling stains instead of what you said. At the last motel before the state line, I leave a piece of us behind. Cheap sheets, heavy thoughts, cable TV selling what we lost. If heartbreak had a vacancy sign, it'd be this last motel before the state line. I flip through channels full of faces I don't know. Even their fake laughter sounds like it's running low. I grab the notepad by the phone and write your name 3 times, then cross it out like I can edit you from all my rhymes. The shower hisses lukewarm like it's tired of getting used by strangers scrubbing off the choices that they carelessly abused. In the mirror I see someone I promise not to be, a man who let the one he loved become his greatest used to be. I put the key down on the desk like laying flowers on a grave. Walk out feeling 15 pounds of lighter hurt I couldn't save. At the last motel before the state line, I left a piece of us behind. Cheap sheets, heavy thoughts, cable TV selling what we lost. Across that border in my mind, leaving that motel We sat in your old driveway with the engine humming low. Your mascara turned to rivers underneath a break of glow. The porch light watched in silence as your heart began to shake, while I pretended distance doesn't know the sound of heartbreak. The clock on your dash glared midnight like a warning overdue, but I stayed frozen in the moment where I last belonged to you. Your fingers picked the leather seat like truths you couldn't say, and all I did was swallow guilt so it would fade away. You asked me why I'm leaving when I swore I'd never drift. I answered you with silence, 'cause the truth was hard to lift. You deserved a better courage than a coward in your hands, but fear makes kings of losers who can't handle future plans. I watched your tears fall freely like confessions for the past, and kissed your forehead gently, our last piece that would not last. You said don't drive off angry, at least leave with what we're owed. So we played our favorite love song just to stitch the broken road. It's the last song in the driveway, melody slipping away. Every chorus that we used to sing now tastes like everything you whispered. Promise you'll be okay on our last song in the driveway. The final note hung weightless while our breathing filled the space. I memorized your silhouette, the moon upon your face. You stepped out slow and trembling, shut the door like closing fate. I tapped the gas too gently, 'cause I couldn't break the state. The rear view framed your figure, small but large enough to ache, as the echoes of our perfect song split cleanly at the break. And though the radio's gone quiet, still I hear that yesterday forever haunting our last song in the driveway. If love had a stop sign, I blew right past it tonight. The last song in the driveway, where goodbye learned how to play. Even now I hear you say, don't forget our song that day. Got a shoebox on the passenger seat, full of every word I was too scared to speak. Pages crumpled from a shaking hand, promises I wrote but couldn't stand. Ink still carries the heat of July, when we swore on stars we never say goodbye. But time ain't gentle with the young and proud. You learn love whispers before it shouts out loud. I stop at every mailbox like a man possessed, thinking maybe courage will choose my chest. But I fold them up and drive right on, 'cause fear keeps winning when love feels gone. The first one says I miss you, laugh at dawn. Second one says without you I'm wrong. The third just says I'm breaking down, while the fourth one begs you to stay in town. These are the letters I never mailed, stories where our love prevailed. If ink could heal and paper save, we'd still be dancing on the waves. The words I kept behind a veil become the letters I never mailed. The last one's dated just last week. About your birthday I tried to speak. I bought that gift you always said would match the ribbon in your hair so red. I parked outside your mother's home, watched lights pour out like a sacred poem. Thought of knocking, then I froze, drove away before the tears exposed. If silence is a prison, I built bars with every fear. Now I'm locked outside the life where you were once so near. These are the letters I never mailed, where love was loud and hope still sailed. If I'd let courage tip the scale, maybe you'd be here. Not just a letter I never mailed. These are the letters I never mailed, where love was loud and hope still sailed. If I'd let courage tip the scale, maybe you'd be here. Not just a letter I never mailed. Static kisses through the speakers, radio gasping for a friend. Like this highway's out of patience, and the night will never end. I tried dialing your old number just to hear a ring or two, but even cell towers know better than to reconnect with you. My phone keeps searching networks like a heart that won't give up, hoping somewhere in the distance you still pour into my cup. The darkness on these back roads hides a truth I'd rather sip. That connection dying quietly can still take down a ship. We once called every evening, shared our fears and secret smiles, till the pauses in between grew longer than the 1,000 miles. You said silence can be cozy, but ours felt like a threat, a ticking clock of distance that our hearts refuse to let forget. I talk to my own echo now, reply to thoughts I hate, like the conversations we avoided till it all became too late. Signal bars are ghosts tonight, no answer when I'm falling, yet I keep
just as the rain wipes out my view, I pull over with a shiver and pretend the world is new. A message fails to send, red letters spelling loneliness. I guess wounds don't need reception to remind me you exist. I close my eyes and breathe you like the memory of a kiss. It rings through every heartbeat that still aches for what I miss. Someday I'll try forgetting, quit the love that keeps enthralling, but tonight my heart's a phone that's lost signal, still calling. If goodbye were final, it wouldn't echo like your name. Lost signal still calling. Lost signal still calling. Even when the world is stalling, till my heart stops reinstalling every hope that keeps me falling. Lost signal still calling. I crossed the county line with you still on my tongue, your name a quiet echo from the days when we were young. This dashboard's full of tickets to the places we won't go, a crumpled map of promises we made a year ago. The sun is sinking low behind a field of rusted dreams. I chase the kind of silence where a broken heart won't scream. The rear view holds our ghosts like a movie stuck on play. Every mile I'm begging time to finally fade your face away. Your sweater's on the backseat like a stranger hitching rides. It smells like old Decembers and the warmth you used to hide. The gas station coffee tastes like every bad decision, but I keep drinking memories like there's some kind of religion. The radio keeps finding all the songs you used to sing. You're in every second verse and every steel guitar string. I talk out loud to no one just to hear a human sound, pretending you might answer from the spaces all around. There's 1,000 miles between your name and me, stretching like the highway through this burned out memory. I'm driving through the questions that you never let me ask. Headlights on the future, but my heart is in the past. If distance is a doctor, let it cure me, let it be. Put 1,000 miles between your name and me. State lines blur together like your reasons why you left. You said you needed breathing room, you said you felt bereft. Freedom without someone feels like prison made of sky. Too much open space and nowhere safe to cry. Past a neon motel where we once hid from the rain. Now every empty parking spot is spelling out your name. picture on a billboard says forgiveness sets you free. So I forgive you, girl, but I can't forget that easily. Maybe on some distant road you'll hear a song and know I turned our last goodbye into the fuel to let you go. There's 1,000 miles between your name and me, stretching like the highway through this burned out memory. I'm driving through the questions that you never let me ask. Headlights on the future, but my heart is in the past. If distance is a doctor, let it cure me, let it be. I'll keep laying mile by mile between your name and me.
This town was once a heartbeat, now it's quiet as a bruise. The diner's turning chairs up like it's giving up the news. Your mama's porch is darker than the secrets that we kept, and the motel sign is humming like the night it cursed and wept. We painted names on tunnels where the trains forgot to go. Now the echoes roll like thunder through the dust we used to know. Our high school bleachers rusted from the storms have grown apart. Guess promises aren't weatherproof when built from broken hearts. I see your first car parked beside the peeling water tower. It smells like gasoline and hopes that flickered in our power. You said forever's fragile, don't you push it when it's thin. But we kept kicking walls we should've learned to lean on then. The wind blows down Main Street with the whispers of your name, like an outlaw chasing closure in a long forgotten game. I wander down the sidewalk like I'm searching for your sound, but all that's left are shadows in this moonlit ghost town. Moonlit ghost town where love once hung around, empty doors and hollow ground, heartbeats stolen without sound. Every memory hunts me down in this moonlit ghost town. The graveyard holds our secrets in a plot we never bought, where there might be and there should be lie together in distraught. I kneel beside a headstone carved with nothing but the year, 'cause this is where I bury what I never fought to keep near. Your laughter's now an echo that the moon can barely own, and I'm a haunted drifter in the place we both called home. I'd give my last tomorrow just to turn this hurt around, but history won't resurrect. resurrect a moonlit ghost town. You said angels only listen when the jukebox lights are low, so we prayed in neon colors where the lost and lonely go. Your dress was black as secrets, boots were tapping wounded pride. We swayed like fragile promises, afraid to turn aside. The bar smelled like redemption, spilled in circles on the floor. You kissed me through your laughter just to feel something once more. We both kept chasing closure like the last drink at the bar, thinking healing lives and strangers and a half-lit neon star. The band played Whiskey Mercy, and you whispered, "That's my hymn." Said your mama taught forgiveness, but your daddy taught the sin. You asked if I believed in grace that finds us in the wrong. I said broken hearts make better choir voices for the song. We stepped outside for air that tasted like tomorrow's lies. You said sometimes the road to God runs straight through alibis. Your breath became a halo in the cold fluorescent light while we said neon prayers on a Saturday night. Neon prayers on a Saturday night, hoping broken wings take flight. Love's a sinner's guiding light, burning wrong but feeling right. If heaven listens past the fight, it hears neon prayers on Saturday nights. We sat up on the tailgate watching dawn erase the sins. You said sunlight's just a sober judge who never really wins. I asked if you'd regret me when the morning finds your truth. You smiled and said regret is just a souvenir of youth. We promised one more dance, one more drink, then one more prayer, to one more turn to nevermore. When I woke and you weren't there, your number on a napkin blurred into the bitter daylight. Another soul that I once saved for just a single night. If faith's a bar tab on a ledger none of us can pay, we'll still try buying miracles and neon every Saturday. Neon prayers on a Saturday night, hoping broken wings take flight. If heaven's kind, it holds us tight till love feels less like a fight. Angels know where hearts rewrite. Neon prayers on Saturday night. Found a box of Polaroids from that wild July we owned, where the sunset loved your laughter more than I have ever known. Your hair was fire flying free above a world that felt so small, and every picture caught a moment right before the crash would fall. We never knew the future its hands around our spark, or that love could lose its meaning when it's reaching in the dark. We built castles out of oceans and the spaces in between, believing youth would always shine like summer silver sheen. One photo shows us kissing in a field of stolen time, your jean jacket like armor as my fingers trace the rhyme. Another shows the bonfire night where you danced till we got caught, and I realized what was priceless was the thing we never bought. But too much heat can smother and too much flame can blind. We grew wild like weeds and left no peace for us to find. Those Polaroids are perfect, but perfection couldn't cope. A gallery of almost love in a summer we broke. Polaroids of a summer we broke. Freeze the words we never spoke. Captured smiles but hearts still choke. Pictures burn without the smoke. Time develops every joke. Polaroids of a summer we broke. I hold each photo awkwardly, afraid to let it fade, 'cause the past is somehow better when it's captured still and made. But we were never still, we were falling out of frame, trying hard to stay in focus while becoming not the same. The sun still sets where we once stood, but not the way it glowed. The film ran out the moment one of us forgot the code. I'll stash these Polaroids somewhere safe, where hope won't poke. Just memories inked in silence from the summer that we broke. If a love was meant to last, it wouldn't fade at all. Polaroids of a summer we broke. Every laugh a heavier cloak. I'll keep them till they finally soak into the heart of what we broke. Polaroids of a summer we broke. Polaroids of a summer we broke. Polaroids of a summer we left the key under the mat, like you said you always would. Walked into an empty house that never felt so good and bad. Your pictures on the mantle, smiling like a different light. The echo of our arguments still hanging in the night. I grabbed the old guitar case and that faded leather coat, the one you used to steal from me when you got cold and rolled. Your number on my forearm with a cheap black hotel pen said, if you ever lose this love, don't you lose me again. Now the taillights kiss the darkness as I roll out of our town. Every mile another reason not to ever turn around. I scan the FM stations just to drown your memory, but the first song that comes crackling through is in the key of you and me. It's that tune we slow dance strung to at your cousin's late July.
I hit a stretch of highway where the stars replace the signs. The sky's a giant record full of scratched up storylines. A DJ with a tired voice reads dedications from the heart. Some soldier in Wyoming, some girl falling apart. I think about just calling in and saying who you were, telling how I broke the best thing that ever broke me first. But some confessions don't belong on late night radio, so I just turn the volume up and let the feelings go. If someday you're out driving and this same song fills your car, I hope you hear my silence riding softly through guitars. 'Cause the radio knows your name, every chorus sounds the same, every heartbreak country line hits my chest like your goodbye. I'll keep driving through the shame while the radio speaks your name, till this old doubt loses tune. I'll be somewhere under your same moon.
Leaves fell early this year, like they knew you wouldn't stay, turning gold to fading rust the moment you walked away. Your porch swing still complaining when the wind decides to dance, like it's waiting for your footsteps and another second chance. I drive by slow on purpose, though I lie to say I don't. Tell myself forget her now, but we both know that I won't. The mailbox leans like history, too stubborn to let go, holding bills and missed goodbyes the heart refuses to know. Your window glows with silence, and the autumn hides the truth. No shadows painting stories like when we were reckless youth. We carved forever in the sidewalk, right beneath your name. Now forever's cracked and broken, like the promises we blamed. A couple walks their dog and laugh the way we used to do. And damn, the hardest part of leaving is the parts I left in you. I press my palm against the glass of yesterday's retreat, whispering to ghosts of love that died on your street. September on your street, where memories dare to meet. Orange whispers at my feet, where love once felt complete. This road won't let me cheat. I feel you in September on your street. I should be somewhere distant, far from signs of who we were, but every turn keeps dragging me back to the ache of losing her. The church bell down on Carson rings like morning, dressed as grace. Each chime a soft reminder I can't outrun your embrace. I park beneath the lamppost where we planned to never part, wishing leaves were hurts I could just rake up from the heart. I drive away, but barely. I'll be back here on repeat, 'cause you're the ghost I keep heartbreak till it fall. It's overdue. September on your street, but love is there to meet. I'll wait for time's defeat till I can pass your street without feeling incomplete.
There's a silent passenger inside this truck tonight. Nobody, just a memory, holding on with all its might. It breathes in every pulse, sits heavy in the dark, a shadow shaped like everything we lost without remark. I cracked the window open, let the cold invade my chest, but even winter can't freeze out a ghost that won't rest. Your perfume haunts the gear shift, some cologne I never wore, and I swear it's you beside me when the wind begins to roar. We swore the road was ours, endless sunsets to pursue. Said the journey was the destination as long as it's me and you. But detours turn to distance, and the distance changed your heart. Then goodbye turned into silence, tearing everything apart. Still I talk to every mile like you're here to hear me plead. Tell the stars the things I whispered when we planted all our seeds. But silence answers louder than a scream of shifting gears, and the passenger that's riding with me feeds on all my fears. Silent passenger never says a word, still it's loud as thunder, every mile unheard. Love can disappear, but ghosts will persevere. Silent passenger, you're always here. Gas station coffee tastes like going on without a plan. Nights get longer now that lonely lease became a friend. I look at the seat beside me like I might just see a sign, but the only thing that's real is how your absence mirrors mine. Maybe someday I'll outrun you, leave your memory in the dust, but the truth sits in the passenger seat, glued tight with broken trust. Till then I keep the headlights sharp, pretending I don't fear that every ride is haunted by the ghost that stays right here. I'd rather hate a voice than love a silence this loud. Silent passenger, won't let go, won't deter. Even if my vision blurs, you're the ghost that still occurs. Ride with me forever, dear. Silent passenger, silent passenger, you're always here. for lights and bigger signs, tired of dusty county lines. You said the city knows your name, while here you're just a girl I claimed. I watched your taillights blur like rain, head full of dreams, heart full of pain. You said I'll call once I move in, but phones don't dial what pride keeps thin. I picture you above the street, skyscraper views and neon beats. You laugh with friends I've never met, drink cocktails you'll soon forget. But late at night when crowds grow thin, do memories sneak beneath your skin? Do sirens sound like lullabies, warnings from our last goodbye? Stars fall harder in the city, no quiet place for pretty pity. When sky gets lost in concrete ladders, even heaven feels like it shatters. Out there where dreams are loud and gritty, stars fall harder in the city. I stand here on our favorite hill, the stars unchanged, they're shining still. One shooting streak, I make a wish that life gives you what we both miss. But if someday you need the past, this porch light's on, the bulb will last. 'Cause love ain't bound by where you roam, some hearts stay lit to guide you home. If gravity is longing, I'll be here when you fall. Stars fall harder in the city, but find their way eventually. If you crash, don't think it's pity, I'll be here where stars fall softly. In the country, stars fall harder in the city, no quiet place for pretty pity. If you crash, don't think it's pity, I'll be here where stars fall softly. In the country, in the country. I found 2 folded tickets to a show we never saw, in the pocket of my jacket that still smells like late last fall. We planned to scream the chorus loud enough to crack the lights, but life called up a rain check and we canceled half our nights. Your laughter spilled like whiskey when you danced into my arms. We lived like love was bulletproof and safe from any harm. But time is rough with innocence, it breaks what isn't tough. And we kept losing tender parts 'cause pride was loud enough. I drive past that old venue where the neon's fading fast, just like how your faith in me grew smaller than the past. You warned me love can't always be a song that hits the charts, but I was busy chasing dreams while you were chasing hearts. Now every seat's abandoned like a future left unsung, and echoes of the life we planned are choking on my lungs. I hold these useless tickets they just point to yesterday. I trace the faded ink like I could resurrect the night, but memories don't take returns, the past don't make things right. Your voice still sings the melodies that never made the stage, and I'm the fool still clapping from a distant second page. I'll keep these tickets tucked inside the jacket that you wore, a souvenir of future plans we'll never make anymore. If life gives second chances, maybe we'll reclaim the day. Till then I ride with tickets back to yesterday. Some dreams expire, even if they keep us breathing. Tickets back to yesterday, but no train runs that way. Love's the show that couldn't stay. Still I keep those tickets anyway.
This two-lane road's a priest that never asks a thing. I spill my sins on asphalt while the tires softly sing. I tell it how I left you standing barefoot on the porch, with tears in both your eyes and thunder in your torch. You begged me not to chase a dream that never paid in gold, but boys like me learn everything by doing what they're told not to do. Every mile's a memory carved into the tar, a rosary of exit signs that led me back to where you are. I passed the town where we first danced in some worn-out VFW. The band was out of rhythm, but my heart was close to you. I see your summer dress spin every time the white lines blur. I hear you laugh above the music like the sweetest kind of slur. The rear view holds your silhouette in cigarette and light. How did I lose forever in the space of one proud night? I told you I was leaving before I asked you to come too. Now the only thing that rides with me is what I didn't do. These two-lane confessions rolling out in slow progression, every bend a broken prayer, every town you're standing there, till I find the strength for one true lesson. I'll be stuck in confessions. There's a diner up ahead where we once split cherry pie. You wipe the cream from off my face and call me your sweet alibi. The waitress still remembers us. She smiles when I walk in, asks me where my better half has gone, and I drive straight back to tell you, girl, you were my only rest. These two-lane confessions, rolling out in slow progression, every band a broken prayer, every town you're standing there, till I find the strength for one true lesson. I'll be stuck in two-lane confessions, chasing you in every line, till I cross that last state Our love lit up like summer skies, bright as youth behind your eyes, exploded loud with reckless thrill, beautiful and hard to hold still. We painted nights with wild desire, but sparks don't ask which dreams they fire. You said forever, babe, just run, but forever's heavy for the young. Some flames catch and burn too fast, turn joy to smoke and leave it past. We dance beneath the July moon, knowing sunrise comes too soon. We kiss like matches struck in wind, burning higher than we'd ever been. But bright and brief is still a sin when goodbye finds where we begin. We were fireworks, beautiful and cursed, lighting up the darkest earth, burst of joy and then it hurts. Love that dazzles always works, till it dies like fireworks. I find old sparkler sticks in drawers, like relics of forgotten wars. Your laughter crackles in my head, but silence wins the nights instead. I still look up on holidays and wonder if you watch that blaze and think of us and where we were, exploding bright, too wild to endure. Some hearts shine only once, but God, they leave a mark. We were fireworks, brilliant at our worst, flash and fade but still immersed in the sky we once rehearsed. We live fast but love still lurks, 'cause we were fireworks. We parked where the guardrail ends and the valley drops away. Your boots dangled over edges like you trusted them to stay. You told me every heartbreak was a lesson dressed in blue, and sometimes falling off of cliffs the only way to change the view. Your hair blew like a wildfire that refused to settle down. You called me scared of heights, I said I'd rather fear than drown. We shared a flask of bourbon while the lightning stitched the sky. Two sinners betting thunder wouldn't dare to make us cry. A year went by and storms came back without you by my side. I chased the calm inside your eyes but found no place to hide. You wanted someone fearless, someone built to ride the wind. I was patched up steel and caution tied in knots I couldn't bend. I stand here now remembering how you jumped and screamed with joy, while I held tight to safety like a frightened little boy. You said love needs risk and passion at the edges of the bend, then dove into the darkness where the guardrail has to end. Where the guardrail ends, that's where you begin. Where the ground pretends to be made for wings again. If love's a cliff we can't defend, you'll always live where guardrails end. I toss a penny from my palm, watch it spin toward the creek, wonder if it shouts your name before it vanishes beneath. Some folks jump for freedom, others freeze to stay alive. I chose breathing without meaning, while you chose your chance to fly. They say the bravest hearts are those that risk the biggest break, and maybe loving you was just the highest dive I'll ever take. I'll step up to the edge again, remember how we used to blend, but I stayed back because my soul still fears where guardrails end. If you see a shooting star, just know it's not me falling. It's every dream I couldn't chase, still desperately calling. Where the guardrail ends, that's where you begin. If fate suspends, you rise above the wind. I'll keep wishing life could bend and meet you where the guardrails end. Rain's been chasing down my windshield like it knows what I've been through. Every drop a small reminder of the tears I hid from you. The wipers beat like metronomes to songs that slowly kill, a rhythm for the wreckage that my voice can't make sit still. I never understood how roads can take what hearts can't give. how leaving feels like dying, just to learn how not to live. Your letter sit unopened in the glove box by my knee, because reading what you hope for might be worse than memory. I remember how your laughter made the morning feel brand new, how you trace your dreams on foggy glass and swear that they'd come true. But I'm better at departures than I ever was at stays, a runaway with reasons that get thinner every day. A semi rolls beside me like a warning from the past, that speed can't outrun sorrow when the pain is built to last. If guilt had brake lights glowing red across the night-lit sky, I'd slow down every time your name comes racing through my mind. A windshield full of goodbyes, road signs I can't revise. Rearview holds the reasons why, but the future's all denied. Every tear the wipers hide, just a windshield full of goodbyes. I pull into a lookout where we carved our names in wood, vowed to never end a love that felt too wild to be understood. Now the carving's cracked and weathered by the storms we never planned, a metaphor for promises a boy could not withstand. I run my fingers through the lines and feel the years unravel. Too late to learn some journeys aren't meant for endless travel. I breathe your name into the rain and let the lightning hear, 'cause sometimes shouting into storms is how we face our fear. If I could rewrite every mile, I'd draw a route back to your eyes. Windshield full of goodbyes, smeared by storms I can't deny. Love remains though distance lies, in this windshield full of goodbyes. Thought I'd finally mapped a road without a trace of what we were, till a wrong turn pulled me backward where my heart still calls you home. Your street appears like gravity that drags my wheels and bones, like your laughter haunts the sidewalk and the cracks between the stones. I could lie and say it's habit or a shortcut in the night, but my headlights know the truth before my pulse admits the fight. The stop sign on your corner feels like fate's sarcastic grin, telling me to turn around before I'm in too deep again. Your living room glows softly, silhouettes I can't decode. A stranger's voice inside a home where only loved ones flowed. I see two wine glasses glimmer where one used to be enough, and a jealousy I buried rises sharp and rough and tough. I grip the steering wheel like I'm holding on to mine, but I lost the right to claim your joy the day I crossed that line. A wrong turn to your smile is the road I always take, even knowing that the ending is a heartbreak wide awake. Wrong turn to your smile, been driving it a while. It's the longest kind of trial, punishment of my denial. Though the pain's my bitter style, I still take that wrong turn to your smile. I shift into reverse and swallow tears like gasoline, burning hotter as they travel through the spaces in between. Your porch light isn't mine, it's a beacon for the brave, but I became a runaway from the love I couldn't save. Someday maybe memory will build new roads for me to roam, but tonight I'm stuck in yesterday, outside your perfect home. I hit the gas and vanish into shadows for a while, still praying for one last wrong turn to your smile. If closure were a compass, I'd stop steering into pain. Yeah, a wrong turn to your smile hurts good like self-denial, but I'll drive this lonely mile just to feel that smile from a Wrong turn to your smile hurts good like self-denial, but I'll drive this lonely mile just to feel that smile.